Welcome back to Worldwide Exchange. Here in the U.S., investors get fresh data on the housing market today and a first real glance at how the spring selling season is shaping up. Now, March existing home sales are out at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, forecast to rise 0.4% to an annual rate of 4.61 million. Joining us now from Phoenix is Tanya Marchiol, president of Team Investments. Tanya, I want to get your take on the numbers before we get them this morning. You do see a little bit of an uptick here, and this is an encouraging sign, correct?
It is. Anything in the housing market that is encouraging is good. And yes, I do expect these numbers to be up a little bit. Investors are diving headfirst into these markets. They see the opportunity. I read a statistic the other day which I really liked. 73% of Americans believe now is the time to buy a house, and over 50% think that rents are going to continue to increase. So this really is the time for an investor to get into this market and make some money. The conditions are just right. So I think now is really the time. I read another statistic that in March, prices were up 5.8%. So we are seeing uptrends in this housing market.
All right, but despite those uptrends, we also have seen a little bit of mixed data coming out as well, and obviously this is a major headwind to the U.S. economy. It's going to be really important what happens with housing. When you look at the sector, generally speaking, and of course it's really hard to call a bottom, but many expecting that this year, in fact, will be the bottom. Do you take that stance?
I think we're bouncing on the bottom. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I do think that we'll see another wave of foreclosures and short sales. What I think will even that out is that we have so many investors in this market coming in that the demand is greater. So I don't think we'll see a dip in prices. What I do think is we'll see more homes being sold, which is a great thing. What we need to take into consideration, though, is we are in a global economy. So what happens in Spain really affects us. What happens in Europe affects us. Australian buyers are coming in. Chinese buyers are coming in. We have loads of investors coming in from across the world to play in this market. So we need to understand that we are no longer just a small market. This is a global economy, and the housing market is a big part of that.
Tanya, this is Ellen in New York, and I wanted to ask you a quick question. What is the difference to you, the main difference between existing home sales and new home sales, in that new home sales seem to still have trouble competing? Is it just the lack of that investor component in the new home sales market?
Well, we have to look at the overall picture. Builders were really hurt because they were not land banking. They have numbers that they have to meet for their investors, and they really couldn't land bank with that money. So they don't truly have the land to build the product that they were once building. The other thing that we have to look at is we have so many homes on the market. We need to rid ourselves of this inventory first. But I did read a statistic that new home sales are projected to be up to 324,000, which they were at 303,000 last year. So new home sales will rise a little bit if these numbers are correct, but it won't be to the levels that we've seen in the past. So I think that will be a trend that we will see in maybe 2013 and 14, where builders are starting to be able to get that land again and build and get permits, but permits are very stagnant. And the product that the builders do have, at least here in Arizona, is really moving quickly because people want these houses. People want this product. They see the opportunity. It's a nicer product than it's been in the past because the older homes have been fixed up and are being resold. And the current homes really are not old. So it's a great product to get in and buy right now, to buy and hold. Flipping is not the game right now.
All right, thank you so much to Tanya Marchiol out of Phoenix, president of Team Investments. Of course, a lot to watch out for when it comes to the housing sector. Meantime, coming up on the show, Bank of America and Morgan Stanley results both due before the bell today, and our next guest says he's overweight the financials. We're going to find out why coming up next.
Join the conversation on CNBC. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Wherever you are, get breaking news alerts and headlines that matter to you. Comments, tweets, and the power